Winter in the Arctic wasn't just cold. It was a war for survival that lasted 6 months. No sun for weeks, temperatures plunging below -30. And yet, an entire civilization not only survived here, they thrived. This is how the Vikings beat the harshest winters on Earth. The Vikings lived across Scandinavia, Iceland, and even Greenland, some of the harshest inhabited places on Earth. In the far north, the sun could disappear for weeks at a time. Sea ice locked entire coastlines. And yet, these weren't just isolated farmers. They were sailors, traders, and warriors who had to plan for winter like it was a battle, because one bad season could wipe out an entire settlement. Survival started with the longhouse. These massive timber and turf buildings housed entire families and their animals under one roof using body heat and thick turf walls to trap warmth. Inside, a central hearth burned constantly, the heart of the home. Clothing was just as critical. Vikings layered wool against the skin, animal furs on top, bear, wolf, or seal, and greased leather boots to keep feet dry. Wool was the real secret weapon. Even when wet, it still traps heat, which is exactly why Viking sailors trusted it at sea. Without this layering system, exposed skin could develop frostbite in under 30 minutes in the worst storms. Food had to last the entire winter because nothing grew once the frost set in. Vikings dried fish in the open Arctic air until it became hard as wood. It could last for years. Meat was smoked or salted. Barrels of skyr, a thick fermented dairy product, and stores of grain were rationed carefully because running out in February meant starvation before spring. Fire was constant work. Someone had to keep the hearth burning day and night, because in Arctic cold, losing your fire wasn't an inconvenience. It could be a death sentence. Communities shared the labor of chopping and hauling wood, because in this world, staying warm was a full-time job for everyone. But winter didn't stop everything. Vikings still had to fish, hunt seals, and sometimes sail, even as the sea itself turned dangerous. Pack ice could crush a wooden longship's hull in minutes. Sudden storms could strand a crew miles from shore with no way back. Falling into Arctic water meant unconsciousness in under 15 minutes. And yet, Viking sailors read the ice, the wind, and the sky with incredible precision, because getting it wrong wasn't just risky, it was almost always fatal. Some historians believe this constant exposure to danger is exactly what shaped the fearless reputation Vikings carried into battle. No one survived Arctic winter alone. Vikings gathered at the Thing, a communal assembly, to settle disputes, share resources, and plan for the season ahead. Neighbors checked on each other. Skills were traded, a blacksmith for a fisherman, a healer for a farmer. Storytelling around the fire wasn't just entertainment. It kept people mentally sharp through months of darkness and isolation, which we now know could otherwise take a real psychological toll. In many ways, the community itself was as important a survival tool as any coat or fire. The Vikings even built entire myths around winter's brutality. They believed in Fimbulwinter, a legendary 3-year winter with no summer in between, said to signal the end of the world itself, Ragnarok. Whether or not they believed it literally, the myth reflected a very real fear that one winter the cold might simply never end. This belief may have pushed Viking communities to prepare even harder, stockpile even more, and trust each other even deeper, because in their minds, this wasn't paranoia, it was preparation for the worst winter imaginable. Here's the twist. The Vikings didn't survive everywhere. Their Greenland colony, thriving for centuries, mysteriously collapsed around the 1400s, likely when a shifting climate brought colder temperatures than even they could handle. It's a reminder that even history's toughest survivors had limits. So the real question is, could you have lasted a single Arctic winter with what they had? Now you know exactly what it took. Subscribe, because next time we're heading somewhere even more extreme.